Tune into Murder in America with your host, Ethan Trace. All new episodes every Thursday night at 8 p.m. only on Binge Crime TV.
Welcome back for part 3 of Binge Crime TV with Jonathan Fleming. I am your host, Ethan Trace. So tell us about what evidence you presented to show that you were in Orlando to prove your innocence.
When it was time to go to trial, my lawyer presented airplane tickets, hotel receipt, video footage. The video footage that we had, it showed me taking pictures with Goofy, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, with my kids in the dune buggy cars, gold carts, me and my mother and all of us in the pool, having a good time on vacation. But when that evidence was presented at trial, they looked at the video, the jury, when I went to trial, they looked at the actual video and they seen all of this with the date on the screen. And the actual district attorney, he said, yes, Mr. Fleming was in Florida, but it was possible for the video footage to be docket, it could have been edited, you know what I'm saying? Like it's possible for the date to be changed on the screen and everything, but it was never proven that was done. So they tried to disregard the evidence that they seen of the video, and the jury seen the video, and they was actually laughing and, seeing me having a good time with the family, and they was like laughing and stuff, like the footage that they was actually seeing.
The one thing, I could definitely understand suspicions like that, but technology back then, that was burned into the video. We're talking like the early 2000s, late 90s camcorders.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
camcorders.
Oh yeah, that was burned in. There's no way you could change that.
No, you couldn't.
To have that, it's got to be absolute betrayal.
Yes. And also phone records, a phone bill that I paid. Because I was using the phone a lot, me doing what I was doing, the life that I was living, I was using the phone a lot from the room. And I was paying the phone bill daily because I was using it so much sometime. And I had a phone receipt in my pocket showing that I paid, I think it was like $81 that one particular day or whatever, or maybe it was for 2 days. The date, the time, the date, the hotel, everything was on. They had all of the evidence.
Yeah, there was a date on every single thing. We're talking the plane tickets, hotel receipt, video footage. It seems like that would be damning to present you innocent.
Yes.
Was there any evidence that was withheld from the jury?
From the jury? Yes, it was. What happened was, which I found out later on, when I actually got out, that's what got me out. The evidence that was withheld, there was the phone receipt that was in my pocket when I got arrested. It showed the date and everything. That would have been evidence that would have gave the jury some doubt that how could he have paid this bill if he, how could he have did this murder if this bill was paid in Orlando, Florida? And then there also was a letter. What happened was the detectives that I spoke with in New York, I told them that I was in Orlando, Florida. I told them what hotel I was in. I told them who I was with. And what they did, they notified the detectives in Orlando, Florida, and told them, we have a guy named Jonathan Fleming here. He's being accused of a murder in New York. But he's saying that he was in Orlando, Florida at this hotel, and we want y'all to investigate it. So these detectives from Orlando, Florida, they went to this hotel, and they spoke to the people that I paid my phone bill with. They spoke to people at the airport. I even told them a place that I went. I went to a Haagen-Dazs place and brought some ice cream on the Strip. And I'll never forget, it was this African-American lady. She asked me, she said, would you happen to be a rapper? Because I had a lot of jewelry on, and I said, no, I'm not a rapper. They even went to her and they even spoke with her. And what they did, they sent the letter back to the detectives stating that it was proven we spoke with people that actually placed Mr. Fleming in Florida. That letter was never turned over. They withheld that letter. That letter, the jury never seen that letter. The district attorney, according to them, the district attorney never seen that letter. That evidence was withheld by the police department, the 90th precinct, which is the actual zone precinct from the murder, where the murder happened at. They the ones withheld that evidence. And that evidence was never turned over. And if that evidence would have been turned over, there's no way a jury you could convince everybody that he actually did this murder.
Oh, 100%. Anybody else would have gone free.
Yeah, because all you need is just one person to say that, yo, I don't believe he did it. Everybody have to be unanimous that he did it. It would have been some doubt. It would have been doubt. They all would have had doubt. They would have showed like there's no way this guy did that, but that evidence was withheld.
So when you were framed, you told us about this one witness. Were there any other witnesses?
Oh yes, it was like 2 more witnesses. There was a guy named Anthony Davis. He testified to the fact. What I would like to point out that I got arrested in August, but in the month of February, 6 months later, he got arrested for I think a robbery it was, and all of a sudden he became an interested witness 6 months later. And when I went to trial, what happened was he was supposed to come and take the stand, and the day that they called him to take the stand, the DA informed the judge that his witness ran off. He was in Allway. We were supposed to take the stand, but he ran off. They postponed my case to that afternoon. That afternoon, they must be found him in the area wherever they knew he was at, and now they called me back that afternoon for him to take the stand at my trial. I would like to point out, when they called his name, he didn't come from the back. You're not like you come from, like if you in the stand or you like in the hallway, he came from the back of the holding pen. What they did, they put him in custody. So it's not like he did it voluntarily. He came from the back, they put him in custody. He came from the back, he took the stand, and they asked him about, what information that he may have. And he told them that he had seen me. It was about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning around the time the murder happened. And he said that I approached him and I seen him and I asked him, yo, did you see black? And he told me, no, I didn't see black. And he said, all of a sudden, I told him, I said, yo, if you see black, tell him I got something for him. And he said that I held up my shirt and I showed him the gun, the butt of a gun. He said 2 minutes later, he had shots. He go to the area where he had his shots at. Black is laid out dead. Once he finished testifying, he went to the back. Once he finished testifying, he actually walked out the front of the courtroom. He didn't go back to the back in the pens. He walked out the front of the courtroom. And I also would like to point out, come to find out, when my lawyer questioned him, he was already arrested numerous of times, but he used about 8 different alias names, about 8 different date of birth. So every time he get locked up, he was using alias names and date of births and stuff. And he testified under the name of Anthony Davis. Come to find out later on when I got out, that's not even his real name he testified under. His real name is Richard Shaw, Richard, something like that. He testified under one of his aliases, and all of this came out later on. Then there was another witness. She put me in New York. She said that I came to her girlfriend's house and I was telling her boyfriend that I'm tired of black taking money from my workers, and when I see him, I'm going to do something to him. So what she did, she just put me in New York like 2 hours before the murder, and that was a lie as well. And the reason she did it, she was addicted to drugs, but I don't know if she got arrested or what, but she came up with this story and she lied and said that I told her boyfriend that I got something for black if he see him. She heard me say it through a door when I was talking to him.
So you have in total 3 witnesses who were essentially blackmailed or offered freedom by the police in exchange for lying and placing you at the scene of the crime.
Yes. And it was proven with Anthony Davis' case. It came up later on. It was proven that he had caught a case in February, and that case was dismissed. We proved that when I actually did get out and everything. It was proven what happened with that case in February. They dismissed that case based off his cooperation with my case.
Don't go away. Stay tuned for part 4 of Binge Crime TV with Jonathan Fleming.